Okay, so I'm going to try to hold it together during this podcast because honestly, the what we're going to discuss it makes me emotional, and I'm going to try not to show too much of that emotion. But the where I live, Texas, we our Governor Greg Abbott, he came out and said that we're opening up on the 10th. We're completely lifting all mask mandates. Businesses don't have to comply. And 100% capacity. We're getting back to normal. We're done with the coronavirus. The Mississippi also came out and said that they're doing the same starting tomorrow. And Florida has already been doing that. It's been a long year, and it's time to start being honest with ourselves. It's time to start having that conversation of whether any of this was worth it, whether any of it was necessary, and to me it wasn't. None of it. I personally think this was all bullshit. I think that there is a lot of very powerful people in this world, predominantly on the left of this world, that decided long ago that this world was in need of a great reset, that they needed to basically create a world government, and they wanted it to be more socialist in nature, and so they used this, basically a really bad version of the flu, to basically cripple all of us, and it pisses me off, and that's why I get a little emotional about this. Is it truly pisses me off, because we've all had friends and family that lost their businesses, or will lose their businesses. People that have lost their jobs, people who are dependent now on the government even more than they were before. We already had way too many people dependent on the government, but I think that was the plan, was to make more dependents. In June, World Economic Forum held basically a Zoom for world leaders, and they discussed a thing called the Great Reset, which basically detailed their plan that didn't take only 6 months for them to hatch. It was a plan of basically completely altering the entire makeup of the world, everything from our policing systems to our economies to our healthcare, everything you could possibly do. They wanted it to be more equitable. That was the buzzword throughout that summit was equitable, which basically means equal outcomes regardless of what you put into it. Basically, everybody ends up at the same spot no matter what. It's terrifying. It's not that's not how we function in the United States. That's how places like China or Venezuela or Cuba, that's how they claim to function. They never end up there. They end up with a authoritarian rule, but that's their calling card, and it's terrifying that we even consider that stuff. So we ended up letting them shut us down for an entire year over a virus that really didn't increase our death toll nationwide by much more than where we were at in previous years. Basically all we found out was that we have this virus that supposedly is only has about a 1% mortality rate to it, way lower when it comes to anyone below the age of about 55 to 70. That's kind of the sweet spot of where it's a little more dangerous. And then we were kind of told that we should just grin and bear it. Everybody should just accept it. This is the new norm. Wear masks all the time for years on end. Wear 2 masks now. Social distance. Don't be near anybody. And basically just be sheep or guinea pigs, I guess, in a controlled experiment. What ended up happening was, obviously we went past the time of, we had about 14 days to flatten the curve. We all obeyed that. That didn't do anything. And then we kept going, and then things just kept getting worse and worse and worse. We finally got to the point of where kids should go back to school, and they weren't allowed to. Down here they were, but in most of the country they weren't. And they suffered. The kids started committing suicide. Kids have crazy levels of depression right now. The amount of like ADHD medication that's being sent out now is astronomical. The amount of kids that are identifying now as as LGBTQ and all of that is astronomical now. So basically every aspect of our lives got worse. The kids suffered, and that's the tragedy of all of this. So nobody's been able to really be, themselves for a year. And again, like I said earlier, it's all bullshit. I honestly believe that. I believe that we had a group of people or a group of countries, whoever it was, a bunch of very powerful people who decided long ago that they were going to do something to reset our entire system for their gain. This situation had the largest power and money transfer in the history of the world happen because of it. And we celebrated it. And we celebrated it through the stock market. We were like, oh my God, look at how high Google's stock is going and Amazon's stock. We shouldn't have been celebrating it, because all it meant was we were getting fucked while they were gaining more and more money and power. And these people used it against us. All these tech companies, they used it against us. They spent all that money getting a senile old man elected president of the United States. They started censoring citizens. Now we're canceling everything. We're canceling people. We're canceling ideas. We're canceling books. We're canceling everything. And it's terrifying. All of it. We became sheep faster than I ever could have imagined possible. I did not think Americans could be convinced to become such just terrified kids. Terrified. This is supposed to be reserved for countries under authoritarian rule. This is not supposed to be. This is not supposed to happen under a constitutional republic or democracy, for that matter. We allowed it. And it's time to take it back. I've been telling people for months that it's time to wake up, and it is. We need to take our country back. Texas is doing that right now. Florida has been doing it. Mississippi's on board. Pretty much any red state is willing to take our country back now. I'm not saying a physical war, but it is time to stop listening to these idiots like Dr. Fauci and Joe Biden and open up your goddamn states. If we don't do it now, you're never going to do it. They're going to keep doing this to you. They're going to keep making you close your stuff. They're going to keep convincing you that the boogeyman is not going to go away. This thing is not what they're making it out to be. This is a virus like any other virus. You notice that the flu has been gone? We haven't had a flu. It's because COVID is the flu. Donald Trump tried to warn us, and we basically called him crazy or just couldn't get our politics out of the way. We couldn't get our heads out of our asses. And we decided to basically insult the man who is trying to tell us, let's get back to normal. Let's stop worrying about an invisible enemy and start getting back to normal before it's too late. And we didn't. Instead, we decided to put a senile old man in there with a lunatic vice president and hope that things got better. Things aren't going to get better. Things are going to get better in Texas because we're sick and tired of it, but things are not going to get better in your states that are run by Democrats. You need to stand up to these people. I'm sorry, but it is time to stop acting like a little bitch. It is. If you don't stop, if you don't open up your businesses, if you don't start sending your kids, demanding that your kids go to schools and stop letting these teachers unions dictate for you, you are going to lose your children. You're mentally already losing them. You're going to physically lose them if this goes on any longer. You can't wait the whole school year, take an entire summer, and hope to God you can send them back next year. That's not how this works. We are a free country. We have the ability to say no. The people we've been listening to, people like Cuomo in New York, who killed thousands of elderly people because he decided to send a virus into elderly care facilities knowing that they are already susceptible to pretty much any disease, any illness that they could possibly run into. Yeah, we took advice from him. Gavin Newsom, a little, pretty boy prick who spends his entire time basically rubbing it in your goddamn face in California that he'll go to wherever the hell he wants, including French Laundry, spend tens of thousands of fucking dollars and just fucking shit on you for it. Fuck that guy. Gretchen Whitmer? Seriously? Same deal. How many people did you kill in those elderly care facilities, you dumb bitch? Wolf, Pennsylvania, same thing. You should all be in jail, every fucking one of you, because you are fucking terrorists. You're the domestic terrorists, not these people that showed up on January 6th who wanted fucking answers. It was fucking you, whole fucking time. I don't like spending my time swearing on these videos. I don't. I really don't. And the F word itself is one of my favorite words, but only when used for, inflection. I don't really like using it when I'm angry at people. But I'm so happy that Texas has decided to open up. But I am so angry at these states that continue to abuse their citizens. I have friends and family, like I said, that own businesses that I don't know if they'll survive this stuff. People across the entire country are experiencing the exact same thing. It is time now. It's time to wake up. I've been saying that for months, and I've meant it. I'm starting to honestly believe the people on January 6th were not domestic terrorists. They were damn near heroes. Why I say that is because those people at least had the guts to go and try to do something about all this. Instead, we have a military occupation in Washington, D.C. for nearly 2 months now. Military occupation. We have fences up around the nation's capital for no reason. I hope and I pray every night that Americans remember what it means to be Americans again. Because it won't be until that day that you finally say, enough is enough. I will not wear this mask ever again. I will not be told not to visit my friends or family. I will not be told not to hug the people I love. I will not be told what to do, because the thing behind me, over my shoulders, the Constitution of the United States, says that I am a free American and I have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You can't take that away from me. You did for the last year. Well, us in Texas are done with that. I hope the rest of you in this country join us soon.